Hello again. African People's Convention leader and the former chairperson of Scopa in Parliament, Themba Godi, believes the Public Enterprises Minister, Pravin Gordhan, is racist. This comes after what he says is the exclusion of unions such as the National Union of Mine Workers and National Union of Metals Workers of South Africa in the restoration of struggling power utility Eskom. The department has reached out to Solidarity to find and provide power station engineers, senior artisans and plant operators in order to resolve the ongoing crisis that is faced by Eskom. Mr. Godi joins us now this afternoon to discuss his concerns. Good afternoon, Mr. Godi, and welcome to Today on eNCA. Thank you very much for your time. Why do you say, Mr. Gordhan, by asking for help or accepting, from what I understand, is a help or an offer from help from Solidarity to try and assist with certain skills at Eskom is a racist move?
Thank you very much for having me. Well, like we have indicated in our statement, we would not have a problem with any South African being asked to assist any state entity. However, our main concern and worry is the selective engagement of a conservative white trade union, Solidarity, especially if we go back to 2019, where the minister and Solidarity had jointly said that the skills deficit at Eskom, as they alleged then, was as a result of an obsession with affirmative action, which then saw the supposed departure of experienced white employees. So when it comes back 3 years down the line, it reinforces that erroneous and debunked position that suggested that the Africans who were employed at Eskom at some point are totally incapable and were merely there because of corruption and other considerations. So our main problem is not with who do you recruit. It is to say you don't reinforce a perception that says skills lie only with white people. When they left, we could not find appropriate skills.
So if not affirmative action, as having been stated by the Public Enterprises Minister, as you've just reminded our viewers, what else could have led to the hollowing out of those critical skills out of Eskom?
Well, we firstly have to agree whether indeed there was a so-called hollowing out of skills at Eskom. Remember, most of those former white employees actually left Eskom and came back as consultants and contractors. It is them, by and large, who are doing maintenance at Eskom, who are providing unsustainable solutions at Eskom to perpetuate their own contracting. So the problems we're having with turbines breaking down and all these other kind of breakages are not because there are no skills. It is because Eskom, like the rest of government, has gone out on the road of external contracting. And it is these former white Eskom employees who are being contracted to do the work, who are not doing a proper job. And for them to come back and say they want to bring them back because there are no skills, it is disingenuous. And taken in the context of what had been said before, just did not sit right with us as the APC. I must add, however, that if you look at the adumbration of the problem at Eskom, today we're talking about skills deficit, but you'll recall that some few weeks back or months, we were told that there was sabotage. That was the problem. There are contractors who are supplying coal with stones and metal objects. And yet, before that, we're told that Eskom does not have enough budget to do maintenance. Before that, we're told that the previous leadership did not do maintenance. So the point I'm making is that this point of skills deficit that we're talking to today, it is part of a litany of supposed explanations about the challenges at Eskom that make us to feel that maybe we are dealing with a distraction and not with actually a problem of skills deficit.
Is that distraction deliberate?
Look, Mr. Moyana, the fact of the matter is that there is a policy trajectory that requires that to a large extent, all the 16 coal-fired power stations of Eskom must be closed so that we can have renewables. As I'm talking to you, we know that Komati power station that the president visited 2 weeks back is going to be closed this September and be turned into a solar farm. There are others like Tutuka, like Henrina, like Camden. They are all lining up to be closed so that we can have renewables. So the problems we're having at Eskom are self-made in order to pursue a particular trajectory. And yet, South Africa is selling coal to Europe in ever-increasing quantities so that they can make electricity for themselves. And yet, in our case, we're closing down coal-fired power stations in the name of renewables.
Thank you very much for your time and insights there. Themba Godi, he's of course a former chairperson of Scopa in Parliament.